The grant writer expenses, whatever his hours are, multiplied by his rate, not to exceed that 72,000.
Thank you. That explains that. Oh, that's all from me, Madam Chair.
Any other comments from council
Madam
members?
Chair.
Mr. Bacamino.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioner McAdams, when I make a decision, I want to see not how much we spend, but also how much is going to come in. How much grant money do you expect this writer to bring into our city in the next 12 months?
This grant is a little bit different in that it's through an act of Congress, and there's 124 communities who receive this money, and it's divided equally among those 124 communities. Right now, we have on the books approximately $1 million. In the next 2 months, another $300,000 will become available to the city of Warren for the 2010 allocation. And sometime late fall, we expect another allocation to be approved of about $275,000. It may drag into late winter, though.
Real simple for people at home and me too. Is he going to bring in more than $72,000?
Absolutely.
That's the bottom line for me. It's not about whether he was a former Warren. He's coming in as a low bid. He obviously knows our department. If he can bring in more money than he costs, it's a plus. It's a positive in accounting. That's a good thing, I would assume. I don't care how old he is. I don't care, as long as he is someone that came in as a low bid, is going to bring in more money than he costs. And in your professional opinion, he will far exceed that.
Absolutely. I think he would be an asset to this city and to this department. He has vast knowledge of the needs of the fire department and of the county. What's coming before you in the coming months are two agreements for tech rescue and hazmat for county teams. Individual communities can no longer go it alone. The fiscal crisis that's hitting all of us is forcing us to work together. These are but two examples of what the future holds for us: mutual aid agreements through the county, through our sister communities in the county, and probably outside of the county. We have to work together. And this MMRS grant is awarded to City of Warren. However, it has a regional component also. So our ability to work for the betterment of Warren Fire and the City of Warren, as well as working with our partners in Macomb County, this is something that's beneficial. And Mr. Vinson has worked with other communities in his previous occupation, and he's a proven worker.
When I worked in Mount Clemens schools my first year, we hired a grant writer for $55,000. In the first year, he brought in over $1 million. And obviously, that was a very good investment, and that's what I look at these as. Unfortunately, that grant writer we had was then, because he was so good at writing grants, was pulled away by the private industry and actually left at schools, public schools. But here we have somebody who's already knowledgeable with our department, and he's coming in at low bid, and your assessment is that he will bring in much, much more than it's going to cost us. And again, that's a plus, not a minus. So I don't see the negatives to this.
Any other comments from council members?
Madam Chair.
Mr. Stevens and Ms. Vogt.
Thank you. Considering the fact that Mr. Vinson is a retired employee of the city, I just want to make sure and get an opinion from the city attorney that Article 9 is going to cover it, and he is not going to be enhanced in any other form except for that $32.50 an hour and/or reimbursement of mileage.
Ms. Michaels.
That's written into the language of the contract. For these services, he will only receive that hourly rate plus mileage up to the maximum.
All right, so there is not going to be anything there is no way that he can add to his current retirement.
Oh, no. If you're referring to in addition to the high year,
Exactly.
so to speak, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Thank you very much.
One more comment.
I'm sorry, Mr. McAdams?
Just to add, the monies that Mr. Vincent would be paid are derived from the MMRS grant itself. No City of Warren funds are used to pay him. All of the funds are reimbursed through the MMRS grant itself.
Thank you. Ms. Vogt?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. McAdams, didn't this come before us once before and we voted it down?
Yes, it did. You made a request that we post the job, that we seek applicants, that it's become a competitive process, that we develop a criteria to evaluate more than just one candidate, which in the supporting documents you see that we did follow your suggestions. We developed a process, posted it, sought applicants, received proposals from various entities. It was posted on Mitten, and where we received those, we reached out into the grant writing community, specifically into,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. SEMCOG, I mean, we're grasping at straws of people. Where could we find people that be able to do
SEMCOG,
this?
Oakland County, Detroit. So we reached out, we threw the net as wide as possible. We asked as many people as we can, do you know of anybody, entities that did similar things? And we followed your suggestions.
Okay. I was looking for this company, Administrative Solutions, and I don't find that they're registered with Macomb County, nor are they registered with the state of Michigan.
I had never heard of them either.
Well, is it a company? Is it a legitimate, we're offering a contract to Administrative Solutions. Are they a legitimate company? I know it's David Vincent, but is it a company?
I'm sorry, we did discuss this, and the best that we could narrow down was that they were from Ohio.
With an office in Troy, I think it was.
Yeah. That was another concern.
I mean, is Mr. Vincent working for this company?
No, this is, Mr. Vincent is a whole different entity than this company. They submitted a separate proposal that was evaluated on its own merit.
Okay, you're saying award the contract
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms.
to the
Vogt.
lowest bidder, Administrative Solutions, parentheses, David A. Vincent.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking.
I'm sorry, we both misunderstood. We thought you were talking about that Unified Business Technologies.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
They're the
sorry.
ones in Ohio.
I'm sorry.
okay. I don't find a company, Administrative Solutions.
Oh.
Has Mr. Vincent not set up the company? Has he? I don't find it as a legal entity.
I didn't look into whether he had, what I know of this process is that he set up doing business as under the entity of Administrative Solutions as the sole worker for that.
Okay.
I don't know what the state requirements are. I know that he listed that as the name of his company and that he would be performing the work.
All right, if I search the Macomb County records, there is no company.
Okay.
And if I search the state of Michigan database, it's not incorporated.
I don't know the process for incorporating a company or setting up a DBA.
Okay.
I'm not an attorney. I'm.
All right. I'm not suggesting that you do, Commissioner. What I'm saying is that if we're going to enter into a contract with a company, it should be a legitimately organized company, registered DBA, registered something, somewhere. And I'm not finding that. Do we have any documents, any references that say Administrative Solutions is a company was set up when, how, where, what have you? Mr. Vincent lives in Romeo, so I would think if he was going to...
We've been trying to get the internet. Just tell me.
I think the internet's gone wild.
Do you mind if I ask one question real quick?
Yeah, no,
Right.
Mr. Green would like to ask a question.
Sorry, Ms. Vogt, before we go to that, Ms. Michaels had a comment.
If I may, Madam Chair, if council approves the contract, our office will conduct the search necessary on the State of Michigan website to make sure that the company is qualified and registered to do business in Michigan, whether that's under an assumed name or a corporation.
Okay, just saying, it's not set up. Can we table this for a couple of weeks and let you get us the documents?
Who's our contract with, Absolute or Dave?
Is that a motion
Well,
to table?
according to this, it's Administrative Solutions.
Ms. Vogt, is that a motion to
A
table?
motion to table.
Support.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to table, and I'm sorry, support by Mr. Bacamino? Support to table by Mr. Bacamino. Ms. Vogt?
Well, we can't enter into a contract. Oh, sorry.
Yes to table?
Yes to table, sorry.
That's right. Mr. Bacamino?
Yes to table.
Ms.
2 weeks.
Comartin?
Yes, to table.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Liss?
Yes.
Mr. Sadowski?
Yes, to table.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes, to table.
Mr. Warner?
Yes to table.
Camp, yes, the item has been tabled for 2 weeks.
Thank you, council.
Madam Chair.
Ms. Vogt? I have a request for recess.
Nay.
Support by Mr. Green. All in favor?
No.
I'm not going to do a recall. We'll go into recess. Okay, we're going to go ahead and resume the meeting on agenda item 11B.
Consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute contract for 22437 Cunningham home demolition and new construction project with Palladium Development Corporation in the total amount of $153,250 ITB-W-8227.
Need a motion and support? Item dies due to lack of support. Next agenda item?
11C, consideration and adoption of a resolution authorizing the mayor and the clerk to execute contract for 25756 Rosenbush home demolition and new construction project with American Style Homes LLC in the total amount of $125,800 ITB-W-8228.
Need a motion and support? Item dies due to lack of support.
Request of the Division of Public Works for approval to award SASTA-W-8389 for the purchase of column lifts utilizing State of Michigan contract pricing from Mohawk Resources Ltd. in the amount of $93,249.92.
Need a motion and
Motion to
support?
approve?
Support.
Motion by Mr. Sadowski, support by Ms. Comartin. Any discussion?
Mr. Neighbors?